There's a major development in the war between Israel and the Hamas terror group. Earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet voted in favor of expanding its operations in Gaza, and with the ultimate goal of demilitarizing the entire region. So, what could this new development mean for the whole war? Well, joining me now to discuss this is Chris Mitchell. He's the Middle East Bureau Chief at CBN News. Chris, great to have you. Welcome back to Washington Watch.
Jody, great to be with you once again.
So tell us about this vote in favor of temporarily taking over Gaza City. Was it a close vote, or what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think most of the cabinet, the security cabinet, voted to go ahead and do this. It's Israel has been at the crossroads of what to do, whether not to have a negotiated a settlement with Hamas, whether to free more of the hostages, maybe have a ceasefire. Hamas wanted certainly the end of the war and the withdrawal of all Israeli troops out of Gaza Strip. That was something Israel's unwilling to do. So this is a major step, Jody, in the war against Hamas. They plan to take over Gaza City. They also are asking most of the residents there to go south to humanitarian areas where even now they're setting up hospitals and camps for people to get out of harm's way and to be safe. This is a policy that the IDF has done throughout the war, giving evacuation notices to people to get them out of harm's way. In the meantime, this is like one of the last phases of the war to be able to surround Gaza City, to eliminate this, one of the last strongholds of Hamas, so they can achieve the goals of the war, which is to defeat Hamas militarily and to make sure that Hamas is never able to rule the Gaza Strip ever again.
Wow. So what kind of timeline do we know? When is this all going to get underway? I'm assuming they're, as you just mentioned, they're giving time for people to evacuate, but I'm assuming the timeline is going to be pretty rapid.
Yeah, well, I've heard a couple of weeks or a month to prepare these humanitarian centers for the people of Gaza, and then the major operation, military operation, will begin while they're amassing troops and equipment to go into Gaza City. It'll be a very difficult military operation because there is many Hamas fighters in Gaza City, many tunnels, many booby traps. Urban warfare is the most difficult warfare there is. But compounding that, Jody, is the fact that there's a labyrinth of tunnels under Gaza City, as in most of Gaza, that the IDF has discovered. The good news is that IDF has been fighting this kind of warfare for nearly 2 years. They know how to do it. Sometime last year, I had the opportunity to go in with a number of other journalists into one of those tunnels, and just that kind of warfare, fighting above ground and below ground, is extremely dangerous and extremely difficult. One reason why they want all the people of Gaza to leave that are not related to Hamas, and why they also want to finally eliminate Hamas as a military threat. One other thing they're doing, Tony, is, Jody, is they are preparing humanitarian areas. They're trying to quadruple the number of humanitarian sites where they're distributing food and medical supplies to the people of Gaza, from 4 to 16. What that is going to do, Jody, is eliminate this aid that Hamas has been using as a weapon against their own people, as a weapon against Israel, by selling the food and by using it to control the population. This is very key to the operation, is the humanitarian aid that can usurp the control away from Hamas by using this humanitarian aid.
So when you consider the humanitarian aid and all that Israel has and continues to do in that regard, were you at all surprised by Germany's decision to stop military exports in protest to this whole attempt to go into Gaza? Did that at all come as a surprise to you?
To some people, it had, because Germany had been supportive of Israel in its fight against Hamas. So the decision to stop arms sales to Israel was a surprise to some people. There was another German issue in the last few days, Jody, and that has to do with the German publication Bild, which exposed some of the PR campaign by Hamas, talking about a starvation campaign in Gaza. And what Bild had done was to show sort of behind the scenes. They pulled back the curtain on Hamas has been using some of these staged photos of these children that are clamoring for food. And that's part of the campaign that Israel has been facing by Hamas, a really orchestrated and coordinated campaign that Israel is deliberately trying to starve the people of Gaza. On the contrary, they are trying to pour massive amounts of humanitarian aid. They have almost 2 million tons of food have gone into Gaza since the beginning of the war. And even now, there's literally hundreds of trucks waiting to go into Gaza. So this, which undermines the whole notion of this deliberate starvation campaign by Israel.
Yeah, so I mean, just yourself as a longtime reporter, what do you make of all the legacy media's seeming willful misinformation about all this starvation and all that sort of thing? Where is the truth finally coming out?
I think it is, and I'm glad for it. I would say, has been reporting here 25 years next week. Here in Israel, is that we've seen this movie before. We've seen the ways that Hamas or the Palestinian Authority or Islamic Jihad has tried to manipulate the images that people get in the news media. And I will also cite Jonathan Conricus. He's the former IDF spokesman for the IDF. Now he's with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. He was telling us earlier this week that the international media, much of it, he calls them useful idiots because many times they are being used by Hamas to accelerate the campaign and these images that really provide a skewed version of what is really happening here. We also talked to Gil Huffman. He's with the honestreporting.com, and he said this is something that the news media has done. Everybody probably has seen that picture in the New York Times on the front cover of an emaciated child.
Got to wrap it up, Chris.
Okay, but that wasn't a starving child. That was a child that was also had a pre-existing medical condition.
Chris Mitchell, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much.